Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Stock Market Technical Analysis Daily. This is the first day of May. The old saying in the stock market, so one of the old saying, I guess, will be sell in May and go away. I mean, study actually do not support that, meaning that typically there is this old belief that the stock market take a pause, a break, if you will, a summer break from in the US between May and maybe all the way to end of August, an investor return to the market only in September. No, statistically, actually, it doesn't make that doesn't make sense. Meaning, there have been studies that have shown that the market tends to go um, up. Well, I mean, yeah, because typically for investor, right, it's making money. It's buying a stock and a stock going higher. That's the measure of most investment. But for us here in option trading, guess what? We make money whether the market goes up or the market goes down. Um, does it mean that we are to expect a slowdown? Yes, after the earnings season, let's say summertime, definitely July, August time frame, some investor they will take a break and go to the Hamptons and enjoy life. But that by no stretch of imagination does suggest that there is no opportunity to make money trading the stock market. We are starting May today. Welcome everybody. I mean, the usual crowd. Good morning, Mr. Joe. Good morning, Beautiful Gates. Good morning, JD Snow Dog. Let's see. This is going to be another one of those banger week. We were studying yesterday in was it yesterday? Saturday mostly. Yeah, we have back to back coaching session on Saturday. It was a very studious weekend here for me at least. Hope you enjoy your weekend. You were able to rest and ready to attack the month of May. So today we are going to spend time mostly talking about what's in store for us. I mean, last week some of the highlights earnings. If you were not with us or if you are catching the show for the first time, there were opportunity to make money on UPS, AMZ, Western Digital, Caterpillar, and even Qualcomm late on Friday. So those were the big movers. So I will suggest um, you go back, review those trades. So that was the second week of earnings, if you will. Really, the first week of earnings, the majority of the big winners, at least those are, again, there are so many stocks that have earnings, right? I guarantee you, I'm not reporting even half of the possibilities that are under using, let's say, the gap and go or gap and fade that works. Gap and go works definitely on UPS. Gap and fade, Caterpillar, AMD, Western Digital, and day two of trading on Qualcomm on Friday. I will strongly suggest you study those because this week, oh boy, we have some heavy hitters. That we will dissect. Just give you a preview of that in the next few minutes. But let's start on here as we usually do, as we welcome Miss Festus and Miss JLo to the live chat. Welcome to the Monday Stock Market Technical Analysis Daily. Let's start with the 30,000 feet view of the US stock equity through the lenses of the major ETF SPY, QQQ, and IWM. If my trading view will abide, because for whatever reason, it's having a case of a Monday. So if that's the case, well, live stock index. Okay, are we going there? Yeah, all right. So it's okay. NKLA, I'm not sure about NKLA. NKLA had earnings. We study all the, well, we study. I spent time with Miss Chelo going through the list of the earnings. It was fun. Stick toward the end. There's a trade that I will be suggesting on here if you stay all the way to the end of the show. Okay, so based on that study over the weekend. Okay, here we go. So here is a SPY. SPY, I mean, since literally, this is a weekly chart. So from a weekly perspective, remember, I've strongly encouraged you to look at multiple time frame when you are doing chart studies. When are you doing chart study? After, when the market is closed. So over the weekends to see, to be able to look at the bigger trend, because on a day to day when we are trading, we are using that 5 or 15-minute charts, and for reason that we have given you, but really to determine a potential for a future trade that you could take. Look at the daily chart, look at the weekly chart when you are doing your study overnight or over the weekend. If you have not been doing that, that's something that I strongly suggest. Again, if you believe in technical analysis, obviously. So for us, that's the basis. I don't go by news of any type. No, the movement of these red and green candle is the sole reason that gets me to take a trade based on price action. So here's the week that SPY has had. It's quite, it's very interesting. Interesting in the sense that it was. Look at the body of the candles. Other than on Thursday, well, if assuming that, yeah, I think that was true. So it opened a gap top significantly and then retreated to 416. But the rest of those days, actually, each one of the 4 days of that last week, Monday here was the 26th, very, very small movement, right? On the side of the body. The body of a candle, if you're new to technical analysis, is going to be the open and the close, yeah? There will be a high on the upper end, which sometimes can match that opening price. Like the candle that we are looking here on Tuesday the 27th, look at it. SPY opened at 417.93. The high went literally just a few cents higher, 418.14. And then proceeded to put in a low just 2 points lower than, not even 2 points lower than that. So very small candles, folks, meaning that the overall market, if you will, SPY is a representation of 10 sectors overall. Sorry, I'm putting my hands there on the camera. Overall, it didn't move that much. That 418 is a level that's for us we have been talking about for a bit. It seems as if has been a resistance. So pretty much we just played with it last week, especially on Thursday when it went to 418 on the day after the FOMC. So it's interesting on here to see what SPY is going to do. The pink chain, the Bollinger Band, they are continuously getting together. That's telling us it's going to break in either direction, right? So this week, that could be the case, because after a full week on here where it was really, really in a tight range. When we go to the weekly chart on here on SPY, so I'm spending a lot of time on here just to really, and that's an opportunity to teach. Look at the size of this weekly chart. It's one of the smallest. The last couple of weeks have been the smallest. Well, at least here on this week here, it went to 410, 418. That's 8 points, yeah, in terms of dynamic range. Last week, a high between the high and the low, it was just 4 points. And in comparison, you can go on here and look at the bigger size of the candle. So SPY is overdue for a move, because I mean, after two tiny candles like that, could we have a big candle like this one on here, where how many points was this? This is 10 points of the like. The other way for you and me to view this, let's quickly go here and tap SPY on your FinViz. The reason I use FinViz because it's already the chart actually. I guess it wasn't right. So as an indicator here, I can put average true range over the last 14 days, and it will display it for us. Okay, look at the slope of the ATR for SPY. Yeah, it has been actually decreasing since in April time frame. Yeah, used to be, it went in March month, it was rising in the 5 thereabouts, and then the entire month of April that move shrink, meaning again, since SPY encompasses all the entire stock market, the most important 500 companies in the US, that will suggest that stocks have moved less in average in the month of April compared to, let's say, March or even the late here. But I mean, it's still within range. 3.72 for the ATR here of SPY. I mean, it's on the it's almost as its lowest, really, because if you look that line all the way, we're showing here on the chart, you go back, the last time it was that low, it was August September time frame of last year. Okay, so August September time frame of last year. I mean, you can definitely increase this chart time frame to see what's going on here. It's actually an interesting study if you want to do a quantitative analysis on here to see the ATR, the variation of the ATR of SPY overall. Yeah, sorry, I went a little bit overboard with that, but it was important to take a look at that. 2 consecutive weeks of very small movement on SPY overall. Doesn't mean that every single stock obey to that. Here are the techs through the tech, the tech stock measure through the eyes of the ETF QQQ, similar type of pattern. I mean, that we know. I mean, the fact that SPY, there's sometimes divergence between SPY and QQQ is actually unusual because the top 10 holdings, the top 10 stock in both SPY and QQQ, they're the same stocks. Yeah, pretty much, right? So meaning SPY pretty much trade like Q or QQQ. SPY trade more like QQQ because QQQ is just one of the sector, but it's the most important sector, obviously inside of the 11 sector of QQQ. All right, so that's that on there. And this morning here, I think it's starting flat or just 1 point. I mean, on the 300, almost a $400 stock, 1 point is not that much. Still within range on there. How about our friend IWM? This is the small cap, so meaning that companies that have a market valuation of less than the definition change depending on what you're reading, but typically less than 2 billion um, in market capitalization is what's considered as small cap. So uh, in that's in opposition to the big capitalization companies such as, let's say, Apple, trillion. You have heard Apple, Microsoft, and the like. That are the big boys. So here's IWM. This has been just a slugfest here. This is the weekly chart of IWM. Obviously, when you see candlestick just being parallel to each other, so this is a sideways. We have highlighted it here for over the last 3 weeks or so. Very little movement here on IW. I mean, last week a little bit. Yeah, it posted a high under that it hasn't hit for, let's say, the major part since the beginning of, well, since March 22nd thereabout. So it went all the way to 230.95, but then the very next day, Friday, there was a gap down on IWM, and so now it's just oscillating on there. But I mean, here definitely, as long as it's above the exponential moving average 8, the recent momentum, that's our yellow line on here. If let me move the chart in this direction to be able to see it, IWM, it remains bullish on here. Obviously a nice bullish trend on here with the acceleration of the slope of the EMA. So that's where the major US equity they stand as we start the month of May. All right, so let's give ourselves an opportunity to check inside of the live chat. Is there any? We say hello to Mr. Ryan. Hello, sir. How are you? Glad to have you this morning. All right, so what else? What else? Well, in terms of movement in pre-market, let's say Mondays are usually one of those days. I've said it many times on here. At least my approach to trading week, because I trade weekly options, right? So it's really, I have just gotten into the habit of easing myself into the week, meaning more of the wait and see approach early in the week. And it's this week specifically because we have a back end of the week that is fully loaded with so many opportunities, kid you not. So here, if we want to take a look at stock that are moving related to earnings, I mean, yesterday after market close, the market wasn't open yesterday, so everything will have to be today before market open, and even today after market close. But I mean, let's just look at today before market open, the one that actually had earnings this morning. So here are some of them, and then we can just click on change. So Estee Lauder, this is a cosmetic company, I believe, and down -4%. It's it's a very expensive stock. I remember it for in my days doing creating AI boxes. -4% at 299. The my remembrance will just tell me the most intelligible thing I can tell you about it. Its option used to be the spread used to be very nasty, meaning, yeah, so it's gapping, but I wouldn't entertain, at least I didn't check it. I didn't consider checking it for a gangster trade on here. I mean, I can quickly pick in. I mean, let me pick into Power A Trade to see EL is still louder. The implied volatility, just, is it going to tell us something? The stock is trading at 299. $300. The implied volatility on it, no, okay, it only has monthly. Okay, that's why it only has monthly options. So actually, it's not that bad if you would like to consider that. The spread are still as bad as they used to be, right? There is no open interest after 350. So I mean, the stock is trading at 300, And in order for you and I or to get involved on this, they cannot let it does not let itself to the Ganser trade, because the 350 calls, for instance, they are going for 65 cents, 85 cents bid. So that's outside of what we want to do with our technique. And the reason for this, because the expiration is not weekly. The expiration is going to be in almost 3 weeks time on here, on May the 21st. Yes, the third week uh, of May, it's all the way to the 21st. So hence the option here, the price, it's but I mean, we can trade it as a regular trend. So when if it shows you a direction, you can trade it not normally if you so desire, obviously. Implied volatility is not crazy just because it has monthly options. So it's not a stock that I'm familiar with. I've told you that here, the for using this technique on here, the challenge, if you will, is to being familiar with a stock with that's optionable enough, because notice I'm not putting a restriction here in the volume, on the average volume, right? So in terms of liquidity, and on. So now if we go back to what we regularly do, we normally do, and just say we want to select volume over 1 million shares. This is the ones that are moving this morning. So let's start with the bullish side. That's how most most traders may be looking at. Mara, it's moving. Geez, what a surprise. Yeah, we are used to that. HP here is not the HP, the the computer company. This one, it's Henrich and Payne Energy, oil and gas drilling, up 7%. This is a $25 stock. I mean, the volume 625 shares. Okay, sure, why not? Mara Digital Holding, a financial capital market. This is a stock that we have talked about. Riot is moving up 3%. Those are the usual suspects that we see here on top of the list. All right. So what else on the other side? Obviously, Estee Lauder, but because Estee Lauder does have volume, so it's just that its options the spread is not bad per se. They're just expensive because of the time that's between now and the monthly expiration that have been offered to us. Uh, I don't see any major mover. Sanofi, it's a French company here, drug manufacturer. Uh, $50 minus 4.28%. What else is here? Groupon, HSBC, financial banks, okay, minus 2%. So not that much movement this morning, folks. Yeah, not that much movement, but trust me, it's not going to be, the entire week will not be like that. So for us, for our traders, our subscribers, you do have your list. Hopefully you're ready with your option trading list that's came out on Thursday, as it does. So at this time, if there is no question in here, let's go ahead and take a look. Thanks to Mr. Ryan for posting Mr. Ryan, Trader Ryan, post inside of the subscriber trader hangout a view of earnings that are to come later in the week, and he shared with me something that made me smile. He remembers, because if you've been here with us after a while, something like earnings, because our approach to earnings is really a unique method, right? We will teach you how we approach earning and how it feed the earnings release feed into our quantitative analysis. So Mr. Ryan remembers that last time, because I believe Mr. Ryan has been here with us since end of December, so meaning he has had one earning season, full earning season. So, but he remembered that CVS on last earning, our quant analysis strike, and we made money on it. And so he's looking forward to the earnings of CVS tomorrow morning. So that calendar. Let me share my Discord. That's way we can. Let me share the Discord screen. I can speak of it and you guys can see it instead of just me telling it. So Discord Hangouts. Okay. So this view is inside of the channel called Trader Hangouts. If you okay. Oops. Okay. I'm doing completely. I'm off base here. So I took the screen of the streaming. That's the one that I put in front of you guys. Okay, so much confusion. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, and let's do this. Okay, so now I hope everybody has a view. So Highlights for earnings, opportunities for us to make money. Again, last week I gave you pretty much the ones that were available to us that we saw, but there's so many, right? So the whole idea, if you have studied your organic stock trading strategy, is to identify stock that are gapping. That most of the stock tend to gap after earnings, yeah, and then we can trade them accordingly. So Tuesday morning, CVS will release their earnings. So tomorrow at this time, uh, we expect to trade CVS. Another sneaky one that's really well sneaky one is not that sneaky because we have had opportunity to trade it at least on two earnings for those who have been us longer on here. BHC, Bosch and Health, this company changed. They also be known as VRX. It's a stock that actually was trading at $300 back in 2015. Yes, yeah, that tells you how much. And then if you look at the historical chart of that stock, but now I think it's settled around $30 or so. It moves. It does move after earnings. So definitely both CVS and BHC, they are the targets for tomorrow morning. Then on Tuesday after the market close, Lyft earnings will take place, meaning that for us it provides opportunity to trade it um, Wednesday morning. Xilinx here is a company that was bought by AMD, so meaning Xilinx earning after market close tomorrow. You could use AMD as a proxy to that because I believe that's that deal. It's in the closing step, if you will. Then Thursday, no, rather Wednesday after market close, the big boys, some of the big boys are coming. I mean, Hilton Worldwide in pre-markets on Wednesday is a possibility. Yeah, we tried to trade it last time. We didn't have a good experience, but we may take our shot again on Hilton on Wednesday morning. So Wednesday morning, definitely the stock that had earnings on Tuesday after market close, they will feed into that. So Lyft and Hilton are potential for us on the maybe Xilinx and AMD as well. But Wednesday, the big boys, folks, after market close, PayPal, Etsy, Twilio, just those three folks. I'm not minimizing, let's say Uber or Fastly, by no means. But those three, PayPal, Etsy, and Twilio, those are serious movers that are going to feed into our strategy for Thursday morning. Again, the earnings is after market close on Wednesday. So similarly, on Thursday, after market close, we will have the like of Roku, Square, Peloton, a great trifecta, and not to be outdone. B1 Meat is a stock that I want to spend the last 2 minutes of this session on. I need to street screen. I know better than that. I know I had to stay on the other screen to show you the chart. There is this pattern that I saw Saturday when studying B1. Let me share it here. So I'm sharing the screen. The screen is still on IWM, but here's B1. I think, and it hasn't been moving at all. This stock hasn't been moving at all since one of our traders, Mr. Jimmy, made 11K on this big gap that happened after the Coca-Cola news. B1 has been, it's not even that, I mean, it has come down, but there hasn't been any consistency. I mean, let's say since when here, mid-February, February 15. Oh, maybe let's go all the way to March. Since March, B1 has been stuck in a range literally no more than 145, not even 140, 140, 142 on the upside, and on the low side, 127. There about 130, 140 has been the range of beyond here. But here's what I saw. Well, I don't know. Here's a pattern that I saw here. Sorry about my drawing, my inability to draw here. This is the weekly chart of B1. Yeah. So this stock has been consolidating because a stock not going down is not for you it's not a bad thing necessarily, but for you and me who trade option, yeah, it's a bad thing because not moving, yeah. But at least from a technical point of view, it's giving us the indication that it's consolidating here, is basing on here, and in the past it has done that, my friend, just to rumble and go back up. So could it be that after this earning, we're going to have a catalyst here on B1 for it to really start moving on the bullish side? And again, why the bullish side? Because it has been consolidating here in range, not going any further down, right? So starting today, and its earning are when? After market close on Thursday, typically some stock, I'm not suggesting that Beyond's going to do that because we never know. We always know afterward, oh, that was a bullish run towards the earning. But I'm going to be looking for opportunities to put in a semi-long-term trade for on B1. So more, I think the date that we're looking at, Miss Jilo, keep me honest. May the 14, and for May the 14, we can consider 200 calls under. The idea is to buy them for as cheap as possible below 10 cents. So each and every day that passes by. So if building that position will not be that much in so much impacted going into earnings. So, but the other possibility, if the stock start moving toward the earning, by the time that we get to Thursday, you can close that position or take partial profit, not to risk it on the earning on Wednesday. So that was the study of the weekend here for us. B1 meets stock on here. So this weekly chart, it's suggesting something is coming up on here, and we want to take advantage of that. All right. So hopefully you were able to get something out of this stock market technical analysis daily for the first day of May the 3rd, 2021. Thank you for your time. We wish you a great trading session, and we'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye bye.